Hey everybody, welcome to Kinnect365. Another Monday, another great day, another great week. Just to do what you do, be the best that you can be. You know what it's time to do. Make sure you invite somebody to go on this journey with you and participate. And so hit subscribe and allow your friends to subscribe so they can go on this journey with you. I want to answer a question from a 365er on today. And the question is it wrong for people who are believers to date those that are not believers? That's the question. Is it wrong? People who are Christians, people who are believers, should they date outside of those that are believers? Well, we can go, let's go traditional first. Traditionally, the Bible says in Amos, it says two cannot walk together unless they be agreed. Now, traditionally, we have taught that to mean unless you are a Christian, unless you are a believer, unless you believe like I believe. But now let's go untraditional. When we talk about two can't walk together unless they be agreed, you have to understand that there is a lot more that you have to agree upon other than your religion. I paused on purpose so you can think. There's a lot more you have to agree upon other than your religion. You have to make sure that you agree on so many things. Religion and what you believe and the church you go to and the denomination you are not a big part of making marriage work. But the truth of the matter is, if you have someone who, say, is of the Jewish culture and someone who is of the Christian culture, those two belief systems, they are so diametrically opposed, I don't see how those two can walk together unless they be agreed. Ouch! But when you talk about Christianity, there are so many facets of Christianity that you're going to have a conversation to see, can you all agree? Can you get to an agreeable place? Two cannot walk together, yes, lest they be agreed. Paul tells us in Corinthians, he says, don't be unequally yoked with an unbeliever. He says, don't be unequally yoked. Well, that's the extreme of the circumstance. Should I, as a believer, connect to someone who doesn't believe at all? To someone who does not believe in God? Can a Christian date an atheist?
95% of the population is undateable.
Undateable!
That's where we're going with that. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. But let's take it again. Outside of spiritual, let's take it into natural. Do you know that you both can be Christians and be unequally yoked? Do you know that you both can be believers and be unequally yoked? How does that happen? Because some of you may be believers that have certain mindsets that allow you to live in freedom. The Bible talks about that. It talks about believers that have a level of freedom that other believers don't have, and not causing them to stumble by your freedom, by what you allow and by what you have. So you can be unequally yoked, not just with somebody who's not a Christian. You can be unequally yoked with somebody who is a believer just like you. So, the ultimate question, should unbelievers date people that are believers? At the end of the day, you got to have a conversation. You have to talk and understand where both of you are. Where are you in your walk with God? Where are you in your belief system? Where are you in your attachment to who God is? Because you cannot put a round peg in a square hole. You can't do it. You cannot fit something in. And oftentimes we try to fit people into our worlds. We try to fit people into our lifestyle. We try to fit people into what we want them to be. And it doesn't work because we're trying to fit a round peg into a square hole. So communication is the key. Communication. If you are dating someone and you feel like you are going to be serious with this person, communicate. Ask the hard questions. Find out if you guys are on the same page when it comes to the core of who you are spiritually. Because if at the core of who you are spiritually doesn't coincide and correlate with the core of who they are spiritually, it won't work. Why? I'll go to my church and they'll go to theirs, or I'll go to church and they'll stay home. But what happens when you have children? When you have children, will they be raised as a believer? Will they be raised as an unbeliever? Will they be raised? So there's a whole construct that you have to understand before you commit and say, I do. So before you commit, before you say, I do, before you get deeply emotionally involved, have a conversation. Understand where you both stand. Understand where you both are. Understand what you both believe. And if you can find a path for that, then I say go for it. But if you can't find a path, if those paths never cross and they never intersect, I don't care what you feel. Doesn't matter how much you love them. It doesn't matter how much they make you happy. If your path at the core of who you are never intersect, you're doomed for failure. So I say to you today, have a conversation, communicate, talk to each other, be honest about where you are, where you're going, where they are, where they're going, and then you can decide if you all are a match. Hey, this is Kinnect365. Come back. I hope I said something to help you today. Come back on tomorrow or on Monday. I'm so used to saying tomorrow because of all last year. Come back on Monday and we'll do this for another week. Remember, on Monday you got your Kinnect365. On Friday you got your faith checkup. So come back on Friday for faith checkup and meet me back here on Monday for another Kinnect365. God bless you. I love you. Thanks for tuning in. Invite somebody to join you and meet me here next week.